What is going on, everybody? Bob29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks because it is time for yet another roundtable. It is volume 18, which is actually just insane that it's still going. But we are here, and I've got an awesome crew with me today, per the usual. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce them. It is the man himself, the one who represents the riffraff, Mr. Staying Up All Night, making pizzas till the morning. It is B-Rock Gaming. How's it going, B-Rock?
What's happening? How's everybody doing? This is B-Rock, representing not a full-time job, as well as a pizza pusher. That's what we're going to call it today, pizza pusher. And thanks, Bob, for having me.
No worries, man. You enjoy shoving that cheese where it don't belong. Next up, I got with me a man with not much to say typically, but what he does say has lots and lots of value to it. Thrilled to have him on board. Happy that B-Rock introduced us a long time ago, and he has been a regular on the podcast as well. It is Mr. Chris B. How's it going, Chris? Mr. Hangover himself.
How's it going, Bob? Yes, definitely hung over this morning, a little bit too much karaoke, but hopefully I'll have something good to say.
I love that it's the karaoke that did the hangover, not like, keg stand with the boys. Like, nah, man, I was really getting into it and singing that Britney Spears last night. It's pretty awesome.
It was the people I went to karaoke with. Their fault.
Also have with me from the new ministry as well. Super happy to have some female representation on the podcast. It is one Miss Kitsu Shell. Shell, how is this weekend treating you?
Oh, pretty good so far. I work at night, but I do enjoy Flash Feuds because I feel like it gives me a little bit more time spread out to get some stuff done.
Awesome.
Yeah, going good so far.
Good.
You messed up my whole intro there, Bob.
I missed your whole intro.
You messed up my intro.
Well, then go for it.
It's gonna be like, hey, hi, this is Kitsu Shell from the land of the Misfit Toys. There you go. We're good.
Well, there you go. It looks like someone else might have pulled up a chair to join us. Is there another pizza man in the building by the name of Sensei Kreese? Are you here for the podcast, sir? No podcast from Mr. Sensei. All right. I guess he's just pulling up a chair to listen today, so that's fine too. But the man, the myth, the legend himself, rounding out the podcast crew today. Again, a massive reason of why I brought back the podcast in the first place. One half was Mr. Sensei Kreese. The other half is this man right here, one who refuses to miss a podcast practically no matter what's going on. Doesn't matter if it's his anniversary. Doesn't matter if he's having his 7th born child. He is always here for the Roundtable podcast, and it is Mr. Southside Envy. What's going on, Envy?
Southside Envy from the new ministry. This week's Warrior of the Week is a comment legend. This guy, fish can't swim. He's everywhere. You see him in all the comments. A legendary warrior, and this week's Warrior of the Week. Also, shout out to Igor Giraldi 2797, who was my first comment on my channel and requested Flash Food videos for this weekend. So he's getting it this weekend only on Southside Envy Gaming 2292. Got 22 subscribers. We outside, baby. We doing it.
Hey, you know what? Support Southside Envy in his endeavors. I will get a link from Envy to his YouTube channel. Make sure to check the description of this YouTube video down below, and you will be able to get linked right there to Envy's channel. Definitely looking to support someone like him. Super thrilled. Also, Why are we calling Fish Cat the legendary voyeur? What am I missing here?
I've seen him in all of the comments. It's like everywhere. It's just fish everywhere. I mean, it's always fish floating. So we got to get the voyeur. He's out in these streets just like I am. So he's been around. He's in. And I'm in the comment. He's in there first. He's usually the first comment. He's the first commenter everywhere. So legendary. Put some respect on this name, Fish Cancer.
Hey, look, I respect Fish Camp for a long time. He's supported me for many, many years. Super thrilled. It's been a long time since I spoke with Fish, but I had to sit down with him a few years back and actually got to speak with him. And shout out to everything that he goes through. A lot of respect for that individual. So anyway, that is our intros for today, and we're gonna dive right on into it because there's a lot to discuss. And we're going to start with hopefully a not big ticket item, but you never know with this crew as to how it kind of starts steamrolling. We got the Showdown coin reward upgrade. So a lot of players were complaining about how their coin promoters just don't have any value anymore because there's the new Showdown shop, and the new shop is not really paying out all that many coins. And so they decided that instead of just earning 50 coins per battle, now it's 200 coins per battle. There's a couple of things like, rebalancing daily rewards for the Showdown coins, and the fact that they're trying to make it where lower division players shouldn't encounter higher division players. So there's a couple of weird caveats with the Showdown stuff, but the big ticket item here is, hey, your wins give you 200 instead of 50 Showdown coins now. Just curious from everybody here. Does this make a difference for you? Is this helping you want to play Showdown on a regular basis for the career? Or do you still kind of feel like how you felt before this update went live? And you're like, man, my Showdown coin promoters are completely useless now.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that train of Showdown coin promoters are useless. 200 did nothing, 50 did nothing. But I do play every day because I only got to do 3 matches. So it got me there in the, I can just JBL this thing 3 times and get out of here. So that's fine, but I'm not excited. I'm not excited about anything. I don't even like using the notoriety promoters. It really doesn't do anything. It just takes me up a little higher. Okay, fine. Nothing really great. Except for on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm also looking at this this daily rewards rebalance. Isn't really a rebalance as much as it is just a flat out nerf. And I do kind of find it funny. It says we've slightly reduced the daily Showdown coin rewards by about 40%. That's not real slight. 40% is a massive drop off. Yeah. Anybody else on our Showdown coin little mini update here?
Didn't care one bit.
That's it. Just a couple words straight to the point, huh?
Yep.
And that is why we have you here, Chris. Cutting through the bar.
Is it bad? Is it bad that I didn't even know?
Is it bad that you didn't even know there was a coin update post or whatever it is?
Nope. Didn't even know.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, I'm right there with you. I didn't even notice.
Didn't even know.
Care.
Yeah.
Showdown is not my.
That's I don't think that's bad, right? Let me, I guess, elaborate. I think that it's not ideal from the game perspective that players like us who have played this game for so long had no idea. That's what's quote-unquote bad. But the change-up of, it's 200 instead of 50, that's really not good, right? I'm looking, I just opened up my Showdown shop just for argument's sake. I have a 10% discount on 2,000 Technician Star Frags. That is 28,000 coins. What, like, 200 is... It's not even a drop in the bucket, to be honest. So the idea that it's like, hey, by the way, we're giving you a whole lot more rewards, but we've taken away from the regular rewards that we've given you by, just a slight 40%. There's no slight 40%. When you look at your gas tank in your car and you're no longer at full and you're down at about 60% gas, you're not like, oh yeah, I've used a slight amount of gas. That's not a thing. But yeah, this is interesting. But yeah, anybody else on this one?
Showdown does have me hooked because I'm chasing down Mutant Finn 10 shards at a time. So I'll be doing this till I get another 500 of those or whatever. I don't know. Need it's gonna take forever.
How many coins does the 10 shards cost?
That doesn't cost a lot. I mean, it doesn't even matter how much it costs. I'm gonna have it because it doesn't show up every day. So it's just me just clicking the button and saying, "Oh, I'm 10 shards closer." Oh, great! I'll have them next year sometime, maybe.
Well, I'm hopeful for you, Envy. That at least it's a new character, right? If you can get there. But all right. Anybody else on our Showdown talks before we move on to the next piece of the podcast? I was not expecting to spend too much time on this one, but if anyone has anything they want to say, by all means, chime in. All right. Let's move on to the actual meat and potatoes of the podcast. It is the Big Boss Faction Boss, the Big Boss Man Midweek Faction Boss, that is, to be precise. This one was an experience for a lot of players. No skill plates, red gem bonus, boss gem bonus, and an all gem debuff. This was tough. This was very tough for a lot of people out there. The bonuses were very minuscule in terms of only 300%. There's also a +7 multi-gem strength bonus. It was rough for boss. I remember that a lot of my faction was struggling, and I can only imagine if a lot of my faction was struggling, a lot of other factions out there were probably struggling very similarly. Lots of boss man shards up for grab in this one. Decent amount of armory loot coins up for grab in this one. A bunch of CSS over a 2-day span for everybody. This was last week's midweek event for those of you that are unaware. Mainly curious what everybody thought about the boss. Was it something that was doable? Was it something that your faction was struggling with? If there's anything else that you want to talk about from that event and that point in time, I mean, by all means. I didn't really have much to say other than it was tough. Boss was tough for a lot of players. And I guess that's where I'm curious, is because I know if it was tough for us, and we typically finish like around the podium in boss, that this had to have been very nightmarish for a lot of other players and factions out there, is the only thing I can assume.
Well, I'll set the scene for you. So, for reasons unknown, my job has set up a 3 p.m. call with the new payroll company we're moving to every Wednesday. So, this midweek fashion boss comes right at the time of the call. But, I don't care about the call. I'm going to get my matches in. I come out there, I join a line, I lose. I join another line, I lose. I join another line, I lose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that hurt my soul. I really hate these midweek boss battles. I really hate the fact that they've got rid of the skill plates and all that stuff. I understand the rumble plates are gonna kill whatever shield they have most of the time, but why give us nice things if we can't use them? I mean, we get these places say, "Oh, it's gonna be great for boss battle." They said, "Fucking, you can't use it no more." What are we doing? Why would you give us something that the only reason we really even want it is for a thing, and you tell us, no, you can't use it? What is that?
Yeah, that's a real tough sticking point with a lot of the boss battle feedback recently. What's the point? What's the point of chasing all these big ticket items when you get told, we don't want you using those? It's tough. Shell, any comments from our T&M side of things in terms of boss? Curious to hear what your outlook was.
No, well, I'm the opposite of Envy there. I'm off on Wednesdays. I work on the weekend, so Wednesdays and Thursdays are my day off. So I'm always happy to see that because I no matter where I am or who I'm with, I enjoy helping. I'm a helper.
Right.
So I was there in the trenches trying to do my best. It was a struggle for a minute, but we eventually figured out what combos were working and was there to help out.
I was gonna say, I mean, how did it go from your perspective? You think it went well? Was it a struggle?
From my perspective, it went just fine.
Okay.
Because it was a struggle at first for us, but then once we figured out the combo and got the right pairs of people together to carry the lobbies, it went much smoother.
Gotcha.
I think we ended up in second place for that one, right?
I believe so.
But I do remember being in voice chat and talking and being like, I can't imagine being in a lower faction right now. And I would get my thoughts here. It's one of those things where it's like boss battle is probably my favorite mode, but I 1000% see why so many people hate it. Because if you're not in a top faction that has all the bells and whistles to get you through this, it's a slog, it's a struggle, and it's immensely frustrating.
Yeah.
And I definitely saw that with this one.
Yeah, and that was also something I think, right? Like you were saying, you witnessed it in our own faction, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess that's mainly the point that I'm trying to drive home is this was a tough boss battle. It legitimately was a tough boss. This one was the one that took us 2 hours to max out, and we got second place. So it was a struggle, to put it kindly. And so I mean, look, I would love to hear from our other contingent representing the other half of the podcast here, from Chris and B-Rock. What was your guys' outlook and thoughts and feelings on the big boss man boss battle that we had last week with the red gem damage bonus and the multi-gem bonus? I mean, not all at once now, y'all. Jeez.
All right, I guess I'll answer because B-Rock's not going to. Hogan was the answer, it felt like, to all of this. Because KO takes too long to get going. So I was all about the powerhouse Hogan. And he did really well. I think he was easily the best person for that boss battle. But still pissed off that they took our plates away again. Give us our plates back. It's annoying.
Yeah, it took us a minute because a lot of players that were using Hogan, they didn't have all the things, right? Like Hogan having the gear is huge, having the moments was huge, having 150% gem damage strap for him, like, even though there was no skill plates, it felt like Hogan needed a lot of stuff that maybe not a lot of players had. And so it worked for some and did not work for some others. I'm assuming you guys had the same experience over there?
Yeah, because you'd have some people trying to use Hogan without all the bells and whistles. Big difference, because just because Hogan is like, Liv has like a million moments,
Yeah.
and they all just do so much. So if you don't have them, it really hurts his impact.
Yeah, you're kind of left out to dry. B-Rock, let me make sure that I kick back for this one. Talk to me about Boss Battle.
It sucked.
Is that where we're just ending our feedback right now?
No, you know what? Okay, so I'm one of those people. I have Hogan. I have everything for Hogan except for the gear. So I had to use props. So it took me a little longer, but we were still able to get it done. I'm right with Envy. You give me a Porsche, but I can't take it out of first. The hell do I have a Porsche for? I am so tired of. I really am. I'm so tired of steel cage. Like I am so over it. It's not funny. So wait, I have all these bells and whistles that I can only use on tours. So why do I need the bells and whistles now?
Yeah.
I can only use it on tours.
Yeah.
So I normally right now would have gone through some moment pulls and different things like that. I'm not. I'm saving it for the straps because I'm going to be able to use straps more than I'm going to be able to use something else because there's going to be a steel cage where you can't use moments or you can't use gear or they're going to come up with something and it's awful. It's awful.
It's awful. So you're
It's
not
awful.
a fan of the steel cage at all?
You know what? I was the first 58 times.
Uh-huh.
Now that we're on, number 97, kind of over it.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Right? Like, that's fair.
Everything doesn't have to be steel cage.
So we do have more steel cage talks later on in the podcast.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna talk about Ron Simmons in that stupid ass tour. We're gonna talk about that because I almost broke my phone because I was so pissed off.
Oh my god.
I had to go to the well, deep in the bottom of the. I was like, what the. Yeah, it was bad.
We will
gladly
we'll gladly talk about that one. That's not a problem. So for me, like the boss thing, maybe I'm weird. I don't treat boss like it's a. Maybe I should. It kind of feels like it's steel cage, right? Because it locks out the skill plates and then gives us a little bit of bonuses elsewhere, and like that's okay type of thing. But it feels like it's so different to me. However, what you were saying, I think, is spot on. Like, if all I'm going to be able to do is use my skill plates or my moments or my gears or whatever it is in tours or in feud, like, what's the point of consistently going out of my way to buy these things? Because that's what it is, right? You're not stumbling into these skill plates for free, right? You're not stumbling into gears and moments for free. This is a gacha game. You got to spend for it. So why am I buying this stuff to beat up on tours when it's like I could beat tours with just about anybody under the sun? So it's interesting to me. I did not like the boss. I really didn't. I thought Hogan was good. To Chris's point, I thought he was good. But he was still board dependent, still RNG based, and you needed a lot of stuff for him. But the boss and the amount of struggles that I saw, so many factions encountering, and because I'm in the spot of being an official content creator now, like I get to see what goes on in Town Hall and all the faction representatives that are complaining about these things, like it was very widespread struggles amongst a lot of people. Like a lot of people. That's what was tough for me to witness. Because, again, like, it took us almost 2 hours to hit second place. Like, that is not okay. And I know that we always talked about, and I remember getting crap for it a few months ago, where it's like, it only took you guys 2 hours instead of it took you guys that long, right? And I get that. The flip side is, you're talking about this is like 3 to 4 times the amount of time that it's taking us to try and max it. So I can only imagine how long it took people that take 6 hours to max it on regular, how long it took them to max if they even did it all. It just seemed rough. It seemed damn rough. Anybody else on our boss battle stuff for the big boss, faction boss, boss man, boss?
So I'm gonna throw this in there because I believe we finished 26.
Damn.
And my faction is we are casual competitive. Okay, we're not we don't have to go hard all the time, but we get decent amounts. We have some players that could easily rock in the top 5, but they value a balance of time as well as then being competitive. We normally finish between 30 and 40 with most events. At one point we were sitting at 21 forever, so I know other factions were struggling.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, it's really, really damn tough, to put it kindly. But all right. Anybody else on our faction boss goodies? Alrighty. Let's move on to the next topic, which this is an interesting one. The Steve Austin Invitational Showdown, y'all. This was the inaugural event for Austin, the brand new WCW Alliance Austin. For the first time ever, there is an open premium showdown. That was very interesting to me, and I think a lot of players out there, so I'm really curious to hear what everyone's thoughts on that were. Pretty solid prize wall in terms of shards that had all the 3 Cenas that we got released recently. Penta was on there, which I know some people were mentioning. If you got Penta shards then and Penta shards this weekend, there's a way to get them. Voice of the Voiceless Punk. A lot of the A-tier characters that we've had recently. So really solid prize wall. And then we saw something, I guess, that they're starting to do now, where it's almost like it's a built-in steel cage bonus, but it's not steel cage. It's the buff for Showdown. So like the here, let me actually save on the recording here. I'm not sure what it's called exactly, but like there are Showdown rules, I think is what these are. So whether you're on offense, whether you're on defense, or whether you're on both, and depending on if you meet the requirement, you'll get an additional bonus, and then it goes either up or down depending on the notoriety league that you're in. So that I guess is something new with this new showdown mechanic that they're trying to do, is implement these new bonuses that they can introduce. So for offense and defense on the premium showdown was either an all gem damage increase or a reduce opponent's MP decrease. And then for the regular showdown, there was a lot. It was like yellow gem damage and trap gem generate and health and like a bunch of stuff. And one of them was something brand new, which was reducing opponent's gem defense. So like there was some oddball things that they were introducing this past weekend on Showdown. And the thing that I really like also, outside of the fact that Premium was open, they've been doing this new structure of Showdown where it's a 400,000 point event to max. And, maybe it's just a me thing, but I know there's some other folks in the faction that have made comments, it seems like it's way more forgiving than what we used to do, which was like 2,016,000 or whatever that weirdo number was. But yeah, lots to talk about in the Showdown event. I'm curious in regards to what everybody thought about the weekend Showdown.
It was great for me. Loved Weekend Showdown. We got out here, got to play early. I think I played it wrong with the Premium Showdown. I took my notoriety trainers off 'cause I didn't want to hit the top league and get shut down. But clearly that wasn't possible. So bad move on my part, but whatever. We got a few matches in, we had a little bit of fun, and then the real Showdown went quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I don't know if they just made these easier. They feel like they've been easier lately. And I came away with the Bionic Stone Cold, whoever that was, the 6-star one that they had out there. So
the Acro, the Motu.
Yeah, the Motu, there we go. Yeah, I came away with him because I didn't think that was ever going to happen. And I passed up on the Cena shards. I could have took the Hustle Order Respect, but I figured they'll be around more often than he will. So I just took him. Won't use him, but he's on the roster, so new is new, is what they say.
100%. That's awesome. Sounds like you had a successful Showdown weekend.
Indeed.
Awesome. Love it. Who else are we getting some feedback on Showdown for, y'all?
Well, I finally got Big Papa Pump. I was happy about that. I got the last of his shards.
Nice.
It was a good one for me. Finally got him. I thought the Showdown was pretty easy overall with all the changes. The only thing that annoyed me was actually people whining about the Premium Showdown being open and you only got, 3 energy or something like that.
It was the most wild thing I've heard in a long time.
And I was it's free stuff. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, so I guess for context, for those of you that aren't aware or listening in afterwards, yeah, what Chris is saying is spot on. The energy was a limit of 3. However, and this is where I'm gonna, put my little caveat on there, it also refreshed every 8 hours. Which initially was like, really? 8 hours I gotta wait? And then I kind of sat back and thought about it, and I was like, I'm really not that annoyed. Like, yeah, 8 hours is annoying, sure, but I'm playing a game mode that I wasn't supposed to be allowed to play ever before this weekend. And then on top of that, I think a lot of people missed out on the concept of why it was so solid. It paid out prize wall for the weekend. Depending on the notoriety league that you ended like the Showdown in, would pay you out additional prize wall. So you could climb every single notoriety milestone other than like the very final 1 or 2 or something like that, because then you needed Austin. But this was essentially an infusion of almost, I think it was almost 4.5, maybe 5,000 prize wall just because. I didn't have a problem with that whatsoever.
So, right now, this is the part of the pod that is sponsored by Nugenics, because this is when Scopely does some shit right.
Oh shit!
And it was like, oh my god, this was amazing. This was if you really looked at it, like if you did your Showdown at between 3 and 4, by midnight you got refilled. And I used all 5 of mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't have Austin, so it blocked me for the last node. But I was like, all right, cool. I got a bunch of stuff for waiting. And I'm like, okay, this was great. You just had to have some patience. Boom, there you go. Finished.
A win's a win, at least in my book.
Absolutely.
And that was an unnecessary, uncalled for, out of left field win. That's just what it was.
Now, I am going to say that it'll never come back again. It'll never come back again.
Oh, B-Rock.
And based upon that, it kind of just is what it is.
You're a silly individual, my friend. Shell.
Okay.
Go on, B-Rock.
We're on the pod. Come on. No, we're on the pod.
Yeah.
I will bet you we can have a wager, an official wager right now. And I'm telling you, it will never come back.
You don't think never, huh?
Never.
All right. Well, let's keep in mind this podcast is going up on YouTube, so I'll be able to play this back and be like, "Hey, B-Rock,
Exactly,
remember
that's why
when you
I said
said never?" I mean, all right. What are we putting on this wager? And when does never officially happen?
Okay, so technically a lifetime is 7 years. So let's talk about it. If this game is still viable in 7 years, that will continue at the end never.
Okay, so 7 years from now, provided the game is still running, that we're both still alive, we'll have the end of this bet. And and if it happens before then, obviously I win the bet. What are we betting, B-Rock?
I'll
a singular mega from now for 7 years.
I'll order you a hometown pizza with the weird stuff you put on it.
You'll get me a pizza, okay? And then what do I gotta get you? I gotta order you a pizza too, even though you don't eat it?
Nope. All you have to do is at one point on the stream,
yeah,
recognize the MPO plate.
Recognize the NPO.
Tell us what it stands for.
This is what we're doing, y'all. Y'all really want me to talk about NPO 7 years from now? All right. You know what? Sold. If I gotta talk about the NPO in 7 years versus getting a pizza, yeah. All right. You know what? Consider the deal done. You shake on it. Whatever you want to do. All right. Bet accepted. I will be looking forward to getting my free pizza here soon.
And complain about the mega pool, and then you settle for like a $10 pizza.
Yeah. Just because it's the principle. I don't give a damn about B-Rock buying me no $100 mega, because like I don't want to take $100 out of his pocket next week, right? That's just rude. But next month rather, I should say. But like next month when this does happen, and I could get a pizza from him, and he just, he's all angry and he's grumbling to himself. I can't believe I fell for it. Bob definitely said something behind closed doors to them, right? Like, I can already hear it. I can already hear it in the back of his head. He told them to do it. I'm gonna owe him a damn pizza, right? Like, he's gonna be all angry. So that to me is more worth it than him having to spend $100. Oh, man.
I mean, really, B should have asked you, have you heard anything already? Because maybe you know something we don't.
Not at all. And even if I did, unfortunately, I'm not technically allowed to say anything. But no, not at all.
I already know the rules of the NDA, so.
Yeah, the NDA, the NPO, the NOWAY. But yeah, all right. So deal, consider it done. Shell, on to your outlook of what happened this past Showdown weekend.
I mean, I'm going to echo you guys. It was great. I thought it was lovely. I didn't have Austin. I still don't have Austin. So just being able to do some of that in the premium Showdown for when I wouldn't have been able to do it anyway was pretty cool. That was a win. I enjoyed that. I do also agree that it seems like it's been much easier. And as someone who is Showdown is not my jam, I'm all happy to take the win there.
Yeah, 100% thrilled that that it doesn't feel like you got to min-max every single piece of energy, possibly buy some energy, have all the CSS, do all the things, and then it's like, you're still like 100 or 200,000 points away from maxing the contest out of the old 2 mil. It was almost very just defeating, I think is probably the word that I'm looking for, compared to what we got going on now. Yeah, look, I love the 400k Showdown. I love that. I think it's great that as a solo, you can get all your stuff done, all of it, and you can just be done with playing Showdown in about 45 minutes. If you're faster than that, great. If you're a little bit slower than that and it takes you an hour, that's fine too. Neither way shouldn't make a difference, but the point is you can play it on your own time, and you can pretty much get done with your entire weekend in about an hour. And your faction isn't waiting on you, right? Like, I love that. I love that you could do that. And if you want to play more, sure. Go out there, play more, buy energy, do your whole thing. If you want to, spend... I think it's like spending $300+ on energy for a chance to win the character now. That's great. For those players that want to do that, awesome. More power to them, and congrats to them if that's what they want to do. But I thought this Showdown weekend was great. I thought when they first introduced the 400k Showdown in Mania month that it was like, all right, this is only for Mania, too good to be true, it's going back to the way it used to be. Showdown at 400k again has been a blessing. I love that. I absolutely love that style of event. The fact that we had it now twice, and not only did we have it back to back, this time we had access to the premium Showdown. You're not going to hear any complaints out of me. Not one bit for that weekend. That was honestly fantastic. I couldn't have made it better. The only thing I would argue would be it's a greedy thing, right? It's a personal thing where it's like, there was no shards for me on the prize wall. I wanted shards for this character. And if that's the one thing that I got to complain about, trust me, it was fantastic. Because I'm not even going to bother complaining about that. It was great. Loved it. Anybody else on the Showdown thoughts? No? Alrighty. Now, on to what I think is going to be arguably the biggest talking point of the podcast. So feel free to chime in and leave your feedback here. And it's not because of what it starts out with, but it's because of what we have had this last midweek. So, if you all remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had a nerf on the DX Army moment, right? So, they had the revamp of the VIP characters for Triple H and for HBK, but what happened is they decided to nerf the moment that fed both of them. And that was a huge hit, not only to HBK, but to a completely unrelated non-VIP character in DX Triple H, like DX Army. They decided that they're going to revert the nerf, so the moment is back at its full power, its full potential, whatever you want to call it. So that's back, which, happy about that, but no idea why they had to nerf it in the first place. Okay. All that being said, in the process of doing that, they decided to give DX Triple H an upgrade. And now his multiply gems, instead of generating ×3, generates ×7. So that is where the week started, which is regarding the DX Army moment revamp and another update to DX Triple H. And then there's more stuff that we could talk about for the midweek as well. But I want to just start by talking about the moment revert and the VIP Triple H upgrade. And then we can get into like what B-Rock and I were alluding to earlier in the podcast, which will include the steel cage tours and stipulation tours and the plates and all that stuff. But for starters, because there's a lot in this one point, let's just talk about the fact that they reverted a moment. Let's talk about the update to the $50 a month character to try and make him even stronger. Anybody on the moment? Let's go there.
I think I'll jump in first. I think somebody listened to the pod. Because we talked about. I think somebody listened to the pod because we all said, you know what? I think I would have tried it, if it was the old way. And if they can get, I guess, I don't know, maybe 100 people, 20 people, whatever, to spend $50, it's a win. I think that's maybe the reason why they reverted back to it. Because all the momentum you had is gone now. When you first did it, the momentum was there. People were kind of excited.
Yeah.
At this point, people don't care. So you shot yourself in the foot.
100%.
So I think that's what we're kind of getting at this point. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Everybody made the video, and then now with the whole pulling back on the Scopely channel and the excitement, you're messing up. They're messing up.
Yeah, all the momentum kind of went out the window when they decided to do that whole nerf on the moment.
Yep.
And yeah, like kind of to your point, right? It feels like, and I'm not going to say that it was just the podcast. Obviously, it feels like it was a lot of players that made those comments where it's like, I would have tested it. I would have spent 20. I would have spent 50 just to try it out, type of thing. And then they just nerfed it so hard that people didn't want to even bother. And now at this point, it almost feels like they're chasing, the X, right? Where it's like, hey, wait, please come back. I promise I'll do better this time. And it's like, you don't care to give that another try. You don't care to give that person another chance. Like, you messed up. You know you messed up. And why should I have to come back to you? And that's just what it feels like, at least to me. I thought it was good out the gate. I thought there was great potential for it. I think the idea that players out there, especially newer players, could have gotten some really solid characters for a consistent investment of $20 a month, really could have helped the game. And then they just decided, no, it's too much. And for whatever reason, finally they decided to recant on it and go back. And it's like, I don't understand. And maybe this is a thing for me as a content creator, right? Because I got to play test them both after the revamp and before the moment nerf, and after the revamp and after the moment nerf. It didn't make a difference. They were still going to be just fine. It's not like you nerfing the moment made them unusable. They were still going to win. It's not a problem. So if the idea was like, you want to make them strong, but not overly strong, that's cool. But on the same token, it's like they need to still be usable. And they were. So I don't understand why or what happened in terms of why the nerf needed to happen. it seemed like such a pointless experiment, to put it kindly. It is what it is. I haven't tried out the new VIP Triple H since the update to him. I got to look into that. I got to make some new videos. I was having internet issues and software issues with like my little editing software or whatever the hell it is. So it took me a while to get everything back up and rolling. But I will have a video on Sean and Triple H coming out relatively soon because I need to get those out and can showcase what they look like, especially Triple H post revamp. But yeah, it just felt like a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I'll echo the same thing. So clearly they aren't with the NPO movement because they put something in the game, they pull it back out, they put it back in. I mean, that's just risky. I mean, once you take it out, if you're going to take it out, you got to leave it out, or you're just going to mess everything up. And just saying, you know. But I'm not gonna purchase the subscription. It wasn't appealing to me. Like I said last time, it wasn't something that I wanted, no matter how good they made them, because I can win with the people I got. So it's not like they're stopping us from winning by changing a moment, by changing these people. We're gonna win. We're gonna win with the people. We can get it done. It's just make it fun. If you really want somebody to be OP, make them OP. If you don't want to be OP, then don't. But if you got to pay money for it, make them as big as they want to. It doesn't matter. I'm going to beat them anyway with gender.
That was actually really funny timing. I just collected my Battlegrounds milestones, and the moment that I pulled was the DX Army invasion moment. Well, Shell, Chris, any comments on the moment reversion or the VIP Triple H update? Is it going to make you want to go for him or not?
Nope, I'm with Envy.
They just fixed their mistake. That's all they did. I'm still not getting him though.
Yeah. Anything else, Shell?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll leave it at that. Was someone saying something there? No? Okay. But yeah, I will say I'm not thrilled with the whole changes on the moment. I'm happy they went back on it. I'm not thrilled that they decided to change it in the first place at all. Just means that it can be changed in the future, and I'm not thrilled with that whatsoever. Anyway, moving on to the next point that we have, which is another part of the midweek. We got 6 Brutus Beefcake Shears skill plates now in the game instead of just 1. They decided to make 1 for every single color, which I don't comprehend why. I don't think that it's really worth it, personally. But nevertheless, we have those now. Gonna ask everybody what they think about those, and if there's one in particular that they want to chase. There's a free medallion that you get to claim every single day, and if you claim all of them, then you will be able to get yourself a skill plate on the prize wall for free. So one of the ones that I think you are not allowed to choose the current existing one. So they changed the color of the skill plate background to match the color that the bonus is. The original one was purple background and it boosted black gems. So now they changed that to a black background, kept it the same, and now they just have all of the other ones that are here. So whenever you make 6 trap gems or more, increase your blank gem damage by 75% for 1 turn. We're getting 1 for free, which to me I feel like is a pretty solid price tag compared to what it, in my opinion, would typically go for with them. And then we could also talk about what happened with the midweek too. for all those steel cage tours, and the stipulation tours for Roman and Brett was a week long. So all these items kind of fall under the same umbrella. Lots to talk about in terms of the skill plates here on the screen that I've got for everybody to see, and yeah, some of the steel cage and stip tour stuff. So I'm not really sure where to start on this because there is a decent amount to talk about. But if anybody wants to take the hot mic, go for it.
Yeah, those plates, I don't care. I don't even like the Barber's plate the first time. It's like, whatever. I mean, if I didn't have that anniversary gender plate, then maybe I would be interested in the blue version. But I mean, we already got the trap multiplier. We love those, so why would I want that?
Yeah, that's also a very fair point. Why even bother if you don't need to, right? So I get that.
I think the plates look interesting. I have said multiple times that I am not a person for strategy, but just looking at them and thinking, what I would be interested in is if we could do a program where it's like, hey, can I give you 3 of the original plates for one of the colored ones?
Like 3 Barber Shears for one of the new ones?
Yeah, because I have like 5.
Yeah, I'd love the whole trade-in thing. That'd be nice, right? Trade in one,
It
get
doesn't
another.
have to be 1 for 1. I have like 5 of them. I'll give you like 2 or 3 for one of the new ones. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Be nice. Not happening, but it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Chris, comments on the plates? Thoughts? Do you give a damn? Do you not give a damn? It's a free plate, right?
I mean, it's free, so I'm not going to complain about the cost. Do the plates, like, are they a big deal to me? No, but I mean, they're a fine addition to the game, so there's nothing wrong with them.
Any specific one that you're targeting out of the group there?
Although Julius doesn't need it, I'd probably just go for the purple one.
So, do you have a trap anniversary plate already?
That is a good question. I don't remember if I have one or not.
I figure, like, I know that's everyone's main go-to for him is if you have that, put it on him. But my thinking is kind of like, if you get the purple Shears, then you could free up the trap anniversary plate for somebody else.
Like
I
gender.
do not have a trap anniversary plate. I just looked. Don't have one,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So, purple for Julius then. Alright, I can dig it. And Mr. Riffraff up there? Thoughts on our skill plates?
So this is this is where I guess I'm more of a penthouse guy than I am a average player because I have a couple of them. So for me, it doesn't kind of matter. It's a free plate, fine. Now, for the average, player, I think that this was a good concept and a good idea, and it'll give a regular average player a better opportunity to improve their roster without having to have the 8th anniversary plate. So this is where you can do the new Alexa Bliss. You can do Julius. You can do the new Cena, not the revamp, but the last tonic now, whatever. So there's a lot of people in here that it'll help those who don't who are looking like, okay, I can put it on Powerhouse KO if that's something that they're choosing to use, something along those lines. So it's going to help the average person a lot more with one of their strongest trap gem champ, whoever that happens to be. So I think that's going to be the bonus there across the board. But
Okay.
outside of that, like for me, doesn't really do anything. But I do think it's going to help most people's rosters.
Okay. I can dig it. Yeah, I mean those plates, they're nice, right? Like, I think they're good, just like everybody else. I don't really see how it's going to make or break my gameplay. I'm not even really sure which plate I would want to go for personally. Might be the purple one too, just like Chris said, just put it on Julius, have my Trapiversary for somebody else. I might say screw it and, find a green or a yellow one for last time is now Cena, just like what B-Rock mentioned. I don't think those 75% bonuses are enough to justify, like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get it for this person, right? Like, it's not as strong as a Rumble. It's not as strong as an Anniversary. It's not as strong as a lot of the plates out there. It's nice, but it's not game changing. And again, I think we're full circle now in terms of why does it even matter about the skill plate? Like, I'm not going to be able to use it in Boss. What am I going to use it in Feud? Like, if I'm going to go on Feud, I'm just going to crush with somebody else if I really have that many, reservations about using character X versus character Y, because character X needs these plates and needs these things. Like, why bother? Just use character Y instead. So the plates, they're okay. I'm happy that it's free. I don't think that I would want to spend on a single one of them. I'll get them as time goes on, but that kind of is where it ends for me. We can move on, though, to the other midweek part. I don't remember the name of the event that we had, but it was a midweek contest that we had a lot of tours and stipulation tours that fed into. It paid out decent armory coins and some boss man shards. And the tours that we had, which, again, as B-Rock and I alluded to earlier in the podcast, were some very tough steel cage tours for a lot of folks out there. There was also stipulation tours specifically for Bret Hart and Roman Reigns, any of them. Normal mode was doing damage with either of the characters. Hard mode was breaking one type of gem, and then Hell mode was breaking another type of gem. So, like, Bret Hart on hard mode was breaking green gems, and on Hell mode was breaking snowfalls. And Roman on Hell mode was breaking like multiply gems, and on hard mode I think was breaking like purples. So it was an oddball amount of stipulation tours that were very specific for a very small subset of characters in the game. And then the tours, they had era tours like for New Gen, Ruthless Aggression, all that jazz. But on top of that, they had these steel cage tours that essentially locked you out from everything other than tour perks and then one thing. So if you did the Moments tour, you got tour perks and Moments. If you did the Straps and Medals tour, you got tour perks and then Straps, Medals, skill plates. And then I think the other one was Entourage. So you got tour perks and then trainers and coaches. There was nothing else that you were allowed to use in those tours, and they made us fight some 6-star gold opponents in each of those tours. A lot of players were not very happy with those tours. I myself, and I'm sure I will get a lot of heat for this, I liked it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was challenging. I thought it was different. And I saw how many people were struggling, and I just kind of said, you know what, I'll make a video on this, and I made a video on it and got at least a handful of comments on the YouTube video itself and Discord and DMs and all that type of stuff of thanks for the video, I couldn't have done it without it, or really helped me see what I could use, blah 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 blah, things like that. So I was appreciative that I could help players out. But man, that was tough for a lot of folks out there. Thoughts on our steel cage tours, and then also the stipulation tours for Roman and Brett. Figure we can handle all the tours in one point.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick. I wanted to point out that I was one of those people that was like, "Thank you, Bob. You're a man of the people." Even though I didn't watch your video, love you though. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. But again, I will caveat that I have a whale roster, and I have cards that probably, a lot of people don't have. So it was easier, I guess, for me to go through and get it done. Only one tour I struggled with, but I still got through it, and I one-starred it, and then I asked for Bob's advice to go through and use Carmelo Hayes and take 25 minutes to stun lock and 3-star the match. What I didn't need to, but I just, wanted to 3-star it.
You were very adamant about 3-star in that match, Shell. I remember that much.
I did. I wanted to do it.
I ended up 3-star in that one, I think, with King Gunther is what I ended up doing. Sorry, go on,
Yes.
B-Rock.
Yes, love.
So I'm right there with you. And I know the match you're talking about. And it was only one match during that whole thing.
That Ron Simmons on Hell Mode.
Which was Ron Simmons on Hell Mode. Which was just...
Terrible.
I was like, somebody did this on purpose. And they did it to piss people off. Again, I have a decent roster. I don't have a roster like yours. But hot knife through butter. Majority of it. And then Ron Simmons... I'm like, okay, I used like 7 different people before I was like, all right, you know what? Never mind. I know what I'm going to do. And I kind of basically did the old Powerhouse Austin, Zombie Austin, the original where you stun lock and just keep going. So I did that with Carmelo. And that's how I beat him. But I was just like, wow. There was nothing. You didn't have the ability to do anything with that. No skill plays, no nothing. So that's where I said the steel cage piece is it's getting a little bit overblown.
You didn't like the fact that you could use some moments, though? Come on, V-Rock. You just had to moment it up.
Yeah, the moment. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I remember you had to use a showboat.
Yeah.
So
it's a moment in time to show it off,
Yeah, I did not have King Gunther, so or Showboat Gunther that you used. So I had to kind of work with what I had, and I was able to go through, got Carmelo through it, and we ended up being okay.
Yeah, for me, I kind of did the same thing Shell did, where I played the tour and then went back to try and 3-star it. Gunther's who I tried to 3-star it with, but in terms of like who I actually used to beat it, because it was New Gen and I think Attitude or something, New Gen and something else. I ended up using Michelangelo Kofi, and that's who's on the video. Which, for those of you watching and want to see it, by all means, go check the video out. The tour that everybody's talking about, right, is the Hall of Fame Ron Simmons tour. It was Hell Mode, the very final boss of Hell Mode. He was 6-star gold, and everything was blocked out other than the tour perks and moments. And so not too many characters have great moments that can really make or break them without a trainer, without a coach, without a strap, without a medal, without a skill plate. Like, it's a lot to ask for. But yeah, I ended up using Michelangelo Kofi on that one, and he walked through it just fine with his dodge and his sub and his Juggernaut gems that gave him MP back and power gems. It was pretty solid. It was pretty solid, to put it kindly. Definitely not easy though. I can understand that.
You know, B-Rock, it could have been worse. They could have given him a stun belt.
Very true.
But let me walk you through my journey of that match. So once again, I'm at work, and I look at the top of my roster and see who I'm going to use against Ron Simmons. So I got Samu. I say, okay, Samu's cool. I like him. Let's see what he does. So I throw him out there, and I say, okay, this moveset that I got for him ain't going to work because he got the trainer. So I'm going to put the sub in. We're going to do this. We're going to do it the long way. And he's hitting the green moves, but he's not really hitting the moves because I'm subbing him down. But when he did hit the moves, hit the green moves, I'm like, I wonder what that black move does. So this sub thing is taking forever. The finish isn't working. It's not doing anything. I left the bleed outside because I wasn't thinking right. And I get his health about 85% down. He's still kicking out. So next thing you know, he says, guess what? I got this black move, and you want to know what it does? It puts power gems down, and I'm going to hit you with it every time the rest of the way, so you die before I do. And I lost. And I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm going to come back with the bleed, but I'm not going to use any health pack. So I said, okay, let's just switch. Let's try somebody else. Dudenator. Light work. Why did I waste my time even using Samu when I had Dudenator out there? It was easy work. It was easy work the rest of the way, but I still came back with Samu for kicks and did it just to do it. But yeah, I 3-starred everything. It was nice. Jay Uso Yeet turned the other guy. I mean, these guys was just doing work. It was. I love my roster. I love what we got going on over there. And they're lucky I couldn't use gender for something I would have.
They're lucky that you couldn't use gender, and the only thing that gender could use would have been Moments Envy, and he doesn't have one.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if they had the plates on, oh man, it would have been a problem. Plates and trainers, it would have been a problem. Oh yeah, the big Cav match was also trash when I can only throw out like 3 column breaks. I was like, oh, what are we doing here? That's not fun. I still knocked him out, but I mean, it didn't feel as good. I was like, we did it.
Yeah, them tours were something. They were definitely something. It seems like everyone's got a lasting memory of that Hall of Fame Ron Simmons on hell mode with that 1 MP move with the power gems. Anybody else on any of the other tours? Like, did the no entourage? Did the entourage only tour feel rough, or the strap metal skill plate one? Did any of that come across as like that's too much, or any of that, or was it just the moments with Hall of Fame Ron?
Everything was easy for me.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the tours are fun. I enjoyed it. I don't remember struggling against Hall of Fame Ron Simmons because I can't even tell you who I used, which makes me think I just did it the first time without any issues. But I really enjoyed it. I think this is how Steel Cage should be used for tours like this, as opposed to like every boss battle and stuff like that.
Just make sure that you don't let B-Rock hear you. Alright, well, that's our Steel Cage tours. Comments on the stipulation tours. I don't think anybody talked about those with the any Roman, any Brett Stip tours. Any thoughts on those from anybody? I'll drop my very quick thoughts. I don't like the idea that you can rebuy back in with IGC and then double your leaderboard score for only 1 or 2 of them and not all of them. Either it needs to be all 3 or it shouldn't be a thing at all. And I don't think it should be a thing at all. That's not how stipulation tours have ever worked. So I wasn't a fan of having to do that. That being said, they paid out very good armory loot coins if you hit on the leaderboards. And so I was inclined to go a little bit above and beyond in doing them. But yeah, any thoughts on either one or both of them? Doesn't matter to me. But the Stip tours for Brett and Roman.
I have a
I
thought.
have a lot of thoughts.
Go for it.
But you go first.
Oh, mine's very short. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing until yesterday. Someone mentioned it right before reset, and I was like, "What?" They were like, "Yeah, you can buy back in and basically just add to your score." And I'm like, "That doesn't seem right."
Right.
So that was a surprise to me. So I went through it. I did mine the first time. Maxim did fine. Walked away. I was like, "Oh, that's not too bad. I'm like in the 20s. That's fine." And then I turned around. I'm like, "What the hell happened?" And then someone was like, "Oh yeah, you could just, if you run through it again, you just add to your score." I'm like, "Since when does stipulation work like that?"
Yeah.
But yep, okay, that's all.
I ended up doing my first run through on stream, and I don't think I had a single finish in any of the 6 tours, normal, hard, or hell, for either Roman or Brett. I don't think I had a single finish outside of the top 10. And then I looked, like you said, right before reset the following day or whatever it was, and it's like, I'm not top 10 in any of these now. Like, what happened? Like,
And how are these
had no idea that people could double their score type of thing. And so I found that out. I think it was like, maybe, like you said, maybe an hour before the event went down on Thursday. So like, I don't know, Thursday 2 p.m. Eastern, give or take, something like that. When someone in our faction was like, "Hey, yeah, so these are," because I was talking to them about Armory loot coins, because that's something else we could talk about. I just didn't bother adding it in today. But like, there's a lot of Armory loot coins this month, and I was wondering how the hell people have so many. And they were commenting on they did these stipulation tour leaderboards. It's like, well, how? Oh, well, you just buy back in and you double your score. Like, excuse me? I had no idea that was a thing. And so I went from I don't even think I was top 40 in anything by that point. And I went and bought back through into all of them, and I got top 20 in two of the modes, and then top 10 in another one, and then I got first place in the final one. Just because I didn't know that I could double my score. It's like, yeah, if I knew I could double my score, I would have done this forever ago. It was all a shock to me. But yeah. I'm sure people have some comments on Stip Tours for sure.
Oh, I have a comment. So, I don't have the original tail clapper. So, first time I went into hell mode, I went in with Shredder, the original tail stabber, and I did the multiply set, and it was cool. I thought I was going to do something. I came up short of 1 star. I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to put the stipple motor on." So I failed the first time. I failed alright. I didn't even have a stipple motor. I wasn't prepared at all. So then I said, "I'm gonna buy back in. I'm gonna put the stipple motor on. This is gonna change it for me." Cause I was right there. I was right on the cusp. I put the stipple motor on, and I failed in the match. But the stipple motor got me 2-star on the thing. I'm thinking I'm gonna get rewards. No, they said you failed again. Then why the fuck do I have stip promoters? If I can't get credit for getting the 2-star and getting these armory loot coins, then what did I do this for? I lost 1,000 IGC for nothing. And then I couldn't buy back in. And even if I somehow came up on the OTC, the original tail clapper, I still couldn't have done nothing. I was pissed. I was pissed for the rest of the day. Said, come on, man.
Original tail clapper?
Yes, the original tail clapper, the OTC. That's what they call them.
Oh, you've missed so many. You've missed way too many.
Oh my god. Alright, well,
I'm stuck on the tail stabber. Right?
I think what makes it great, B-Rock, is the fact that it's also Roman Reigns. Right? That's I think what just makes it hysterical. Alright, so yeah, definitely Envy with some very hot and heavy comments there on our Stip Tours. Anybody else with Stip Tour comments?
I did not know until just right now that you could buy back into them.
Yeah, I learned that one the hard way.
It would have been nice to know that as public knowledge.
So I think, and I think what you said earlier, Shell, and kind of what I was agreeing with you on, I think that it wasn't intended. I don't think that it was like hidden knowledge or anything like that. I think it was legitimately like not intended, and maybe this is like the mean-spirited side of me where I think the truth of the matter is it's not intended. It's a glitch in the game, and the players who know that aren't going to report it because they know they can use it as an advantage. And I'm not calling anyone out in specific. I just think that's the reality of the matter, which would really stink if it was. But yeah, I don't think that that's intended whatsoever. And if it was, then 1,000% I couldn't have said it better. It needs to be something that gets publicized. You need to tell people, hey, you can buy back in. You can double your score. Anybody else on our Stip tours? I didn't. I didn't hear from you, B-Rock, over there. Talk to me, Stip tours.
So I knew. I did. I thought it was common knowledge.
You knew and you didn't tell me?
Oof, here we go. Lovers quarrel in the lounge.
Betrayal right here.
No, I knew because initially when I did the Roman one, I didn't read it correctly and I failed. So I bought back in. And I knew if you failed, you could buy back in. It was basically the same as any other Stip. We could buy back in, and then just if you did Stip tours, you could do it, and then you use your tickets, boom, and you just get the rewards all over again. So I knew that was something that was available. I thought that was common knowledge. So when you do a Stip tour, a normal Stip tour, you 3-star it. You spend $100 in-game cash, and then you use your tickets, and then boom, you get the rewards all over again. We've been doing that for ages.
Yeah, that's not the what we're talking about. It's
but I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
I'm saying that the buyback was giving you double the rewards. I just knew you could buy back. So that was my whole thing. Oh, okay. I just did it, and I just kind of did it, and I did pretty well across the board.
So the thing is, Chris, what B-Rock's not telling you is he found out because he's got his ear up to the door of the penthouse, and he just didn't want to tell anybody.
No ear on the door on that one there, buddy. No,
he was trying to save his leaderboard spot. That's why he didn't tell me.
Yeah, you see, the truth comes out on the round table.
I again thought it was just common knowledge that you could always buy back in Stip tours.
Yeah, but the common knowledge isn't that the scores will double up.
And I'm just gonna say, I thought that was always the thing because you always got double the rewards.
Oh, B-Rock out here just betraying his own kind. Listen, for those of you listening at home, remember, this is what it's like to be in not a full-time job, all right?
Wow. Taking shots. You see, I've left the ministry alone. I haven't said anything bad, but now, okay, all right. I gotta up my feud lineup so I can jump into some ministry people.
Yeah.
Come fuck me.
Well, excuse me. What was that?
What? Okay.
You cut out there, I think, at the worst time, Shell. That did not sound like the word fight.
Oh, I said come find me.
Okay. All right.
That's definitely not what came out.
Oh my.
Definitely another F word. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, the fact that Envy's hopping off a mute here, something definitely went down. Anyway.
He said he was going to find some ministry people. I said, come find me.
Well,
It definitely sounded like that bomb to me.
yeah, it definitely didn't sound like the find word. But regardless. Anybody else on our tours, the steel cage ones or the Stip tours for Roman and Brett? Anybody on the thoughts of I mean, besides the whole double points thing and whatnot, what did everybody think about the idea that you had to use any Roman or any Brett as like a Stip tour type of thing instead of it just being open or like a regular Stip tour where it's like, hey, break silence gems or whatever the hell? Any thoughts on that? That it was a little more restricted? No? All right.
I didn't like it.
Okay, fair. I feel like that type of game mode really only helps, and not like to pat myself on the back or anything, but like a player like myself that has all the Romans essentially and all the Bretts to kind of test out who would be good for those modes. And then when I realized like who would actually be good for it, it's like, yeah, you kind of got to use the Whaley OTC to be a good Roman. Brett wasn't so bad. Brett was like, hey, do you have the I think it's the best there ever was? Whatever the striker Brett is with the gear. Yeah. So that one, which that one's not too rare. So I kind of digged that a little bit more than you have to have OTC where it's like a super rare character. The one thing I think I would like more, I like the idea, I like the concept of like, hey, you have to use these characters. What I wish could exist, and I know this exists in some other mobile games out there, is like, if you go to play a game mode, the game gives you the characters that you can use at like max level or like a locked level, whatever it is. Like let's say your max level at that point in the game is level 100, but the game mode only allows level 70s. They will just give you an array of a dozen or 2 dozen level 70 characters that they've, created for that game mode. I wish that was the case where it's like, hey, everybody, try out these Stip tours with your 6-star gold characters, and if you don't have them, here's all the 6-star gold Bret Harts in the game. Here's all the 6-star gold Roman Reigns in the game. Just because you're trying that game mode. It doesn't need to be your character. Like, you could use your character to train and coach them is totally fine because that's the type of game that we have, but I wish it was like a thing for that type of game mode where everybody was on kind of the same playing field. That'd be kind of cool, at least in my opinion. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling on at this point. Anything else in terms of the tours before we move on to our main event?
So the last thing I didn't like about it, because I wasn't paying attention, was that they changed the rules on every level. So not only was I restricted to Brett and Roman, but I'd be in a Brett match and then I'd be like, oh, okay, so this one time I was matching greens and the next time I'm doing snowfalls or whatever it was, and then when the Roman switched up, I really wasn't ready.
Yep. It also caught me off guard that it was 3 turns instead of 1 turn. That was random and out of left field. I wish that was displayed somewhere better instead of like needing to dig down into the rules of the Stip tours itself. But that's just a personal gripe. It is what it is. Anybody else before we finally move on? Alrighty. On to the finale, the Saturday night main feud weekend, y'all. It is Miss Jacqueline weekend. I know B-Rock is going to have to go on mute because he's going to be far too excited the more that we talk about this vlog. But yes, Miss Jackie is finally in the game. This is her induction weekend. She is a 5,000 shard recruit. You can get half of her shards for free. The other half is obviously available if you spend or if you climb through the milestones for it. She is damn good. The one thing I don't like about her is that it doesn't seem like, and again, I don't have any inside intel or anything, it just doesn't seem like she's going to scale into whatever the next new rarity is. The only reason that I mention that is because we are currently in May, and May last year was when we had a new rarity. So I'm kind of still in shock that we don't have a new rarity this year, a full year later. This is the longest that we've ever had between new rarities in the history of this game. So just always have that in the back of my mind, at least right now, until the new rarity happens, or whatever it'll be. I'm sure there has to be some type of upgrade around the corner. But yeah, so Jackie's here. She is very, very good for our 6-star gold portion of the game. I think there's a very good argument for her to be made for her as top technician in the game and possibly top attitude female in the game. So there's a good shout there. Lots of goodies on the prize wall here. Very, very, very insane prices. And not saying that like it's insanely good. Saying that as like insane prices on these prize wall things that I have no idea where you're even gonna get that many prize wall medallions. But yeah, I mean it's a feud weekend, y'all. Lots of Flash Feud content going on. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you'll see that I am feuding in the background. They brought back the champion chest, I guess is what it's called. So every war score, if you hit 6 million points, you can get 1 medallion, and then that 1 medallion will turn into the chest at the end if you have all 4 of them. So you convert 4 medallions into 1 chest. In that chest is only shards of S+ tier characters, and it's 300 shards. So definitely a huge pick-me-up if you get a character that you don't have unlocked as of yet. So pretty solid. They moved it down from 10 mil, which used to be the old stretch, down to 6 mil now. So huge pick-me-up for a lot of players there that they don't have to commit crazy amounts of hours to hit 6 million points. Just, solid weekend so far. Curious on people's thoughts on Jackie, on Feud, on the weekend. Talk to me. We got lots of stuff to talk about here for this weekend.
So I'm gonna spoil some of the Two Bombs fun here. I haven't even seen anything with Jackie. I have been so super busy that I have missed everything. So I don't even know what she can do, can't do. As you I hate to say it. Birthday was on Thursday. Worked a lot on Friday, and then we have today. So I have absolutely no idea about anything. I even missed the first 6 million. So I heard I can buy it, so I'm going to end up having to buy the first coin.
Well, B-Rock, there's a real quick way that you can see what Jackie does. If you just check out my video on YouTube.
Would love to do that, sir, but as you know, I just woke up. So.
I'm teasing you. But no, I obviously did make a video on her for the official preview. I try as best I can to showcase every single move. Thankfully for her, I could showcase every single move. She's an interesting one. She's got a real crazy dynamic. So to kind of get people, get them interested in what Jackie can do, she's got a 5 MP move that does over 5 million bleed damage for 3 turns, and it's a combo move that gives her 10 turns of 100% gem dodge. So, she's
100% gem dodge?
Yep.
Okay.
And now your interest is piqued. But
little bit.
But
Does she have a move called?
does she what?
Does she have a move called the nip slip?
B-Rock. Come on.
She was famous for it.
Jeez Louise, man. No, we don't have that.
Times, man.
We don't have that. Good Lord.
You had Cena, kick a dude in the nuts. So hey, I thought we were out of the PG era. My bad.
No, somebody mentioned this. I think it was Clay in our faction chat and was like, "Hey, so does anyone understand what the correlation of the silver Hall of Fame Jerry the King Lawler gear is? Is it because he used to always shout puppies whenever Jacqueline would work her way to the ring?"
Jacqueline, Sable, all of them.
Oh,
Tori
good
Wilson.
Lord. But yeah, so Flash Feud thoughts, y'all. This is our final talking point. Flash Feud thoughts. Jacqueline thoughts. Were you expecting her to be in the game out of nowhere, out of left field? Why is she a technician and not a powerhouse? Just some weekend thoughts. Let's get them out.
Oh, I got tons of thoughts. So, I was not expecting her in the game, although they say she was long awaited. I don't know who was acting for it. I'm not saying it shouldn't have been asked for, but I don't remember putting her on the list. But either way, glad she's here. Glad she's a tech because I'm a tech's a light and I don't really like them. But I would love to have her on the roster. And I went in for it. I tried and I tried and I tried, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm not lucky like Bob, but we gon' hope that this thing happens. But what I'm looking for this weekend, y'all know what it is. Top lane gender back out in these streets. Feud 3, we doing it again, and we gonna break out also middle lane Brutus. So both top lane gender and middle lane Brutus will be out in Feud 3, showing y'all what it is.
I am really looking forward to that Brutus build of yours. I want to see it. I want to see it in action. Yeah, I will keep my comments to myself. We'll save those for the end because I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of heat. So we'll save that for now.
Well, I'm happy she's in the game. I think she's a great addition. One that's long overdue, and I'm also just happy it's a new person instead of just a different class for someone who has a million of them. Flash feud. I like Flash feuds, except for I'm mad at myself for missing last night because I was busy. So I will, if I want to get that chest, I'm gonna have to shell out the $20, which is annoying.
Do you think it's worth it?
I mean, you get a guaranteed plate, along with the 300 shards. So maybe depends on which shards I get.
Maybe. So I guess we'll have to find out next time. All right, good deal. Anybody else on Flash Feuds or Miss Jackie?
I'm happy she's there. I was looking forward to that one. And I did get to see. I did watch part of your video, Bob.
Oh,
and
snap!
She looks great. I'm excited. I will get her at some point. Probably not this month, but maybe in future months. But I will be happy to add her to my roster.
Yeah, she's good. She's fun. I feel like with the dodge and with the multi-gem reversal that she will have some longevity. She's not going to be the one move hitter quitter that everyone's going to want her to be, but she's still damn good. She's going to be damn good.
And like Emmy said, I'm not going to complain that she's a tech because I am happy to have a really good tech. But I'm surprised she wasn't like a powerhouse or a striker. But no complaining.
All right. B-Rock, your thoughts on Feud itself instead of just Jackie?
So I am, believe it or not, I just put I put 2Bob 29's Jackie review on my big screen here
Uh-huh.
as I'm sitting here on the pod viewing and just gonna try to check out what you got out here on these streets. You know what? Flash Feud is Flash Feud. I gotta say, this one was a little just because of the weekend and what I got going on. I'm not crazy about it being Flash Feud, but I'm gonna try to make it. I'm not maxing it any which way, anywhere close. So I'm just gonna try to get them in between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And it may be one of those things where I'm gonna have to go full on tomorrow morning to catch up. But that's kind of what we're looking at.
So pretty much a pretty
And
standard Flash Feud weekend.
yeah, there's no top lane gender over here at the moment. So I gotta fix things. Gotta make it right with the Scopely gods.
I'm sure you'll figure it out just fine.
Oh, I don't know about y'all. I'm loving this feud. But again,
yeah,
I also have a pretty damn strong female roster.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I think at the end of this feud, I probably will at least hit 200 million.
Well, that'll be awesome.
I'm almost there now.
That'd be awesome. But I guess that's a good question that I can kind of feel to everybody here. Do you feel there's any reason to hit 300 mil anymore in Flash Feud? It's really
any motive?
Yeah, any reason, any motive. Like, it kind of just feels like it's just shards now, right? Like, I almost feel like, and maybe I'm wrong here, I almost feel like hitting the 6 mil every feud is worth more than trying to hit the 300 mil on the entire weekend. Am I wrong in thinking that way or feeling that way?
No, I don't think so.
I do it just to do it.
Yeah, same.
Makes sense.
If I don't hit it, I don't hit it. I mean, the max, if I don't hit it, that's fine. Which is often, I rarely max the Flash View because I always will slow down towards the end and then never max it. But again, it's never really been anything too earth-shattering.
Yeah, I used to, obviously, I'm sure most of you that know me for long enough, I used to chase leaderboards, and I, for the longest time now, it's been like a weird median for me in terms of if I'm not chasing leaderboards, why bother? Like, I'll still max whatever. And now I'm looking at the rewards. And sometimes these rewards, like, yeah, I'll try to get as much as I can for free. That's never a problem. But sometimes these rewards are just not worth the amount of effort that I need to put in. And it has me thinking, like, 300 mil, it's not like it's just a drop in the bucket. Like, you got to sit here and you got to actually play Feud for a decent amount, right? It's doable. Especially if you have the speed, especially if you have the steps, it's doable. But do you really want to go through that whole process? Last night I stopped feuding so I could play another game with my buddies. Spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours playing another game with them before they went to bed. And it was just like, why do I want to keep feuding and doing something that I don't really feel like I'm having a lot of fun doing compared to playing a game that I actually enjoy playing? And I look at these rewards and it's like, man, I get it. If it was worth the rewards, sure, but dude, 300 mil for some shard bags and 6 gold tokens, like, yuck. It just doesn't feel like it's worth it. The 200 mil, sure. 200 mil has prize wall and skill plates and those domination chests, like all that good stuff. But man, do I really care about hitting 300? Like, no, not really. I just don't. Just wasn't sure if I was the odd man out there. But yeah, I will say, and this will be towards the end of the podcast here because I'm sure I'll get a metric ton of heat. This past week in the game has been absolutely insane for me. The last time that I've been on a run of this type of luck has been about just over a year and a half. Back in October of 23 with the zombies, I bag pulled both Zombie Sammy and Zombie Becky for the feuds. Zombie Becky was after the feud. Zombie Sammy was before the feud began in their respective weekend events. This past week, so about 19 months-ish removed, I've been on an absolute tear. Last weekend was Austin Alliance induction weekend, like we talked about. I felt I was nowhere near the amount of shards that I needed to have for him to get him on the month. And I think that is intended, that they want people to feel like they are not going to get him. And so I kind of said screw it in the middle of the week and decided I'll buy an elite loot pull, and hopefully some of the shards there will put me within distance of getting him. And in the elite loot pull, ended up hitting Austin himself at 4-star bronze, which was absolutely insane because I haven't pulled a new character. Forget like a bag pull. I haven't pulled a new character in years, I think. Whenever Samu came out, I think that was my last character pull that I had hit. And then this weekend, everybody in the faction chat was talking about, have you seen a Jacqueline in lineup yet? Like, has anybody fought a Jackie? And everybody's like, no. No, we haven't, have we? Like, I haven't seen a single Jacqueline. Shell mentioned she was rocking like a 300k lineup and is like, I haven't seen one. And there was a bunch of players that were like, I haven't come across it. And I just said, you know what, screw it. And like I was joking, right? Because in the back of my head, it's like, I'll just get some shards and start working towards building her. And it's like, you know what? Other players haven't gotten her. No one's seen her in lineup. All right, you know what? Let me go do a pull so that some way somebody can get her. Didn't actually realize that on my second mega, because I did too, that I was going to pull her. But I did. And I hit Jackie at 6-star bronze also. So in the past week, I've pulled not one but 2 brand new characters on my account, which has been absolutely wild. So thrilled with that. Couldn't ask for much more, to be honest. But yeah, this weekend's been nice to me. That's for damn sure. Enjoying feud and gonna just kind of slow roll into a chill weekend. Gonna spend some time with the family and probably game with the boys, and I'll have a good one.
What game are you playing?
We were playing some League of Legends. They got back into it after all this time, and I caved and started joining them, and like, yeah, it's still fun. It's an old game that we all used to play, but it's still fun. It's weird though, because there's like there's a matchmaking in that game where like they have ranked, right? So bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, all that type of stuff, right? And so my buddies rank in like bronze essentially. I think one of them is iron, which is before bronze, and the other one I think is silver. So like they average out to a bronze player. I myself play at like a platinum level, which is way above bronze. And so it's an interesting experience to put it kindly. It's very tough to win those games, but it's fun because you get to play with the boys. And also, it doesn't hurt that Game Pass came out with a new few games out there. So thrilled to interact with some of those, and it's gonna be a great weekend. I think gonna have some good family time, gonna have some good gaming time, and gonna just enjoy the weekend. But yeah,
So, I got a question.
go for it.
Besides veteran Cena, who do you think we can expect to have to use on Monday?
Oh yeah, that's right. What's Monday? Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Could be Sarge. One of his Trickster Hall of Fame.
Sarge.
Okay, so Sarge, then Cena.
Trish.
Probably. I was just gonna say Trish.
I'm
Acto
used
Trish.
to the troops.
It's gonna be a lot of those. Now, I think a better question, B-Rock, is do you think that they're gonna somehow force us to use Hogan?
I have all the Hogans now, so I'm good.
Oh, Mr. All the Hogan. You even got Ghostbuster Hogan?
No, well, he doesn't exist.
All right. Well, you gotta be open and honest about these things, B-Rock.
He does not exist to us average folks.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so got it. So you got all the average Hogans. How's that sound?
I have all the average Hogans. And then if Chris will let me borrow the gear,
tell me that you're listening in on the Penthouse without telling me that you're listening in on the Penthouse, right?
no. See, here's the difference. I got that from my faction. My faction was like, yeah, you need to make sure you get the gear. And somebody who's in the podcast right now talked me into buying that $99.99 Muhammad Ali moment so I can get it up to help out the Hogan that I have without the gear.
I feel like this couldn't have been me.
Nope. It would be another guy.
I feel like he's blaming me.
It would be a guy who's coming to a tour near you shortly, because Chris Brown is out there touring for all the ladies.
Then they get really disappointed when they see me sing and dance.
Well, anything else before we close up our podcast for the weekend, y'all? Final words.
I'll say this. Tupac Band, you're a good dude. Definitely appreciate you doing this.
Hell yeah.
I'll say this, that I for me to get up early on a Saturday morning for this, I really do have a bunch of fun, especially with Shell. Sometimes Chris. Southside, Sensei Crease. We have a good bunch here, and I definitely appreciate you allowing me to partake.
Hell yeah. I mean, look, that goes for anyone that's listening in right now or listening on the YouTube playback this long in, which if you are, kudos to you and thank you very much. But yeah, I say this all the time, and maybe I haven't said it recently, but if anybody wants to actually get in on the podcast, just shoot me a message. Reach out to me on Discord. It's still 2bob29. I got the server up, obviously, and in the description there's the link to the server, so head on through there and you'll see me on the server list for sure. Also, one more shout out, make sure to check out the description for Southside Envy's YouTube link if you want to see some of his top gender line gameplay, because I'm sure he's going to be promoting that, so would love to help with a friend and share his content out there. But yeah, look, I mean, I say it every time, and I stand by it, and I mean it. I thank you all for being here. I appreciate you, B-Rock, tremendously so, for helping bring back the podcast as frequently as you've been around. It's been great. A huge shout out to you, and always love to have you on when you've got the free time, big time. Chris, I love the fact that you are just a no-nonsense guy and you just cut right through the bullshit and you kind of answer it straight up. And same with you, Shell. The two of you are very on the same page of, nope, I fucking didn't like it. Or, yep, this was good. So, really appreciate the two of you tremendously so. And of course, Envy, I couldn't have done this without you for sure. Huge shout out also to Sensei Kreese, who I think is currently still watching in. The two of you are a huge reason as to why I brought this podcast back and why I want to keep it going. I like the idea and the concept of being able to give everybody a platform to talk about the game. And I'm hopeful that now that I'm an official content creator, that you guys still feel comfortable and confident enough to talk about things just like the way that you talk about it, right? That nothing's new. It's still the same old format and area and comfort zone that you've always had with the podcast. I really like doing this. I really like being able to give people a voice so that they can feel heard. Hopefully for those of you that are listening at home, and if you feel like you want to do the same and you have access to a microphone and Discord and want to join in, then, by all means, just reach out and let me know, and I'll be happy to get you set up. But yeah, that's going to be it for Volume 18. We had some fun. Definitely got a good chunk of stuff tackled and talked about. Looking forward to coming back in a couple of weeks and going for Volume 19. I'm going to have to try and figure out some other areas in terms of, I think it's Spotify and iPodcast or whatever it is, some other places to upload this so that it's not just a YouTube video. But I will work on that as time starts to permit itself. I'm finally out of tax season. I'm finally not as bogged down as I once was. I got my internet back. The contractors have stopped working. I got my fucking software back up and running where I can make videos. So we're looking good. We're looking like we're in the positives now. So that's enough of me rambling. I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you all for showing up here. Thank you all for listening in live and on the YouTube playback. But that's going to be it for this one. So until next time, y'all, 2 weeks from now, same time, same place, same round table. Have a good one.